No rematch for Dmitry Bivol. Well, at least not anytime soon. Now, despite Dmitry Bivol's team officially filing a motion to plead and protesting Artur Beterbiev's win and seeking a rematch ASAP in what they deemed was a rigged form of judgment from the judges, a rematch between Bivol and Beterbiev may not happen anytime soon. And this is mainly due to the International Boxing Federation, who has now officially given orders to Beterbiev to defend his titles against their mandatory challenger. First and foremost, it turns out that the fight between Beterbiev and Bivol had no rematch clauses. With this being said, Beterbiev and his contractual obligations after fighting Bivol is pointed towards fighting Michael Eifert of Germany, IBF's mandatory challenger for the 175 title. Now, depending on what Beterbiev decides to do, the potential implications of his decision may result in the following outcomes. First, if Beterbiev versus Bivol is to take place, then Artur Beterbiev must give up and vacate his IBF belt and lose his undisputed status. Again, this is due to the fact that Bivol is not next in line to challenge Beterbiev, and on top of their fight, not even having any rematch clauses. Now, the second option is that if Beterbiev wants to remain undisputed champion, he must then honor his contractual obligations with the IBF and fight their mandatory, and not just for the IBF belt, but for all 4 major belts. I know, it's crazy, right? If you folks can recall, a similar scenario played out when newly crowned undisputed heavyweight champion Alexander Usyk was forced to drop his IBF title and lose his undisputed status. So what happened was, after his win against Tyson Fury, Alexander Usyk was ordered by the IBF to fight Daniel Dubois. But instead, Usyk said that he would rather fight and grant Tyson Fury a rematch, since it was the right and more noble decision to make. So this move by Usyk resulted in him vacating his IBF belt, thus ending a very short-lived undisputed title reign. So what does this mean for Beterbiev? Well, the ball is now in his court. He can either give the fans what they want and negotiate a rematch with Bivol, but in return no longer be undisputed champion, or he can remain the undisputed king and face his mandatory challenger, an easy and definitely less exciting move that will for sure result in a major backlash. Don't even get me started with the whole David Benavidez versus David Morrell fight that's also being staged for the WBC mandatory position. Quite frankly, having too many sanctioning bodies is just really frustrating. It's also extremely confusing. Why can't boxing just have one unified league like other sports? There's too many promoters, there's too many sanctioning bodies with different rules, and everyone for some reason has a damn belt. There's a regular champion, there's a super champion, there's just too many things going on. It's very frustrating. Anyway, I went off script there for a moment, but yeah, I'm really sorry about that. Let's get back to the news. Moving on, Canelo's plans on moving up to 175 to avenge his loss against Dmitry Bivol may also not really happen anymore. Canelo already said that Bivol is the only fighter that he's willing to fight and move up weight for, and not Beterbiev. Canelo, prior to the Beterbiev versus Bivol fight, said that if Bivol gets all 4 belts, then the plan is to challenge Bivol for the undisputed light heavyweight title. But now that Canelo has nothing to gain by fighting Bivol, except for, quote, avenging his loss, it looks like Canelo will just hang out at 168 for the time being. I mean, let's be honest, avenging his loss against Bivol was most likely the least of Canelo's goals. If anything, achieving that was more like just a bonus. Think about it. If Bivol was the undisputed light heavyweight champion and Canelo fought him at 175, and let's say in this particular scenario, Canelo defeats Bivol, not only is that better in terms of achievement and recognition for Canelo Alvarez, this also gives him the benefit of being able to argue that a fight with Beterbiev or even Benavidez is no longer needed, because he already defeated Bivol, a fighter who is seen as someone who is superior than those two. All of these without Canelo Alvarez losing or risking his 168 titles. And if he loses at 175, he can always just say that it was a much heavier weight class and that at least he tried. Again, all of these without the need to risk his 168 titles. But newsflash, Dmitry Bivol lost. And it looks like Canelo may need to go back to the drawing board and reconsider his plans for 2025 all over again. What are your thoughts about this? Definitely let me know in the comments section. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, please don't forget to click that like and subscribe button for more quick talk.